What's up, chat? Oh. I love that. I love it. I can't get enough. Oh, what's up, guys? I'm Gun, twitter.com/Gundacker, which you already know that. And I'm joined by Josh, twitter.com/Mad Scientist DFS. No, I just made that up. You should probably go make that now that somebody out there.
Okay. I don't tout anything. I don't think I tout the NBA.
We just talk basketball. Shout out to the live chat. Yo, you guys beat me to this stream. I appreciate that. Shout out to Doug, Cheyenne, Chris Smith, Mikal says, what it do, Gun? Let's get it. Big win on hump day. Let's cash out. Yes, sir. What up, Donovan Brewer? Matt W. Not going nowhere. Appreciate that. Skimmer, Hateronzo, Carlos says too much value equal no value. What up, Eric? What up, Conscious? Steve? JNY. What up, JNY? I haven't seen your name, man. What up, Tyreek? Nate D? You guys are crushing it, man. Appreciate that. Get them likes going. Get them vibes high. And, hey, last night, Trae Young, 61 fantasy points. Nikola Jokic, 67.5. Giannis, 59. I think every one of my Fanduel lineups had all three of those guys because it was easy. RJ Barrett, 54. Bogdanovich, questionable all day. Ended up playing, contributed. I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Contributed 30-plus real points against the New York Knicks last night. Terrence Mann, 42 fantasy points. Drew Holiday, 40. Zach LaVine, questionable all day. 38 fantasy points, 21 real points. They got smoked. And then Jordan Poole did what Jordan Poole does. If you're ever worried about Jordan Poole in the first quarter, don't be worried about Jordan Poole in the first quarter. Like, he's going to turn it around and pick it up.
Unders on the first half form and overs on the second.
Honestly. And that was pretty much it. Everything else last night, 4 games, say kind of eh. Whoa. I need to go through, I don't know if Jax is out there. We can update some of the game totals and spreads, because there's been a lot of news since I put that in there like 3 hours ago. Maybe keep an eye on that. So we just did a little bit of an hour preview of what we're looking at tonight, especially from a prop point of view. You guys didn't catch that or you didn't know about that. We do that stream every day right here on this channel. We're about the hour before this stream, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. Look at stuff for prize picks. But today, in this stream, we're going to go a little deeper with DraftKings FanDuel salaries in mind, ownership in mind, stuff like that. But also keeping an eye on the props, because let's be honest, a lot of you guys are transitioning into some prop gurus yourself. So we're going to do a little bit of everything. There's a lot of news to throw a lasso around on this slate. We did get some news, so let's go ahead and get cranked up here. I'm going to open up Underdog NBA, their Twitter account. Shout out to JFan. If you're not following Underdog NBA on Twitter, you should be. They make it so easy to follow all the news. Why am I talking? Hey, lady. Jerry Lee Lewis. Key news to watch as of 3 p.m. Eastern. Hiccup. LeBron James, questionable. SGA, questionable. Cat, questionable. Jimmy Butler, questionable. Tyrese Halliburton, questionable. De'Aaron Fox, Julius Randle, both doubtful. Wendell Carter Jr., questionable. And in the last hour or so, we got Malcolm Brogdon listed as out for rest. So that's not an injury, Josh. They're just resting him. So maybe that means Halliburton's closer to in and they would stagger. Just putting it out there. And then,
that would be a lock play.
Oh, yeah. Earlier today, we got a lot of the expected Warriors punt out list. Night 2 of a back-to-back tonight. Iggy remains out. Otto Porter, who has seen a lot of rest on back-to-backs this year. Klay Thompson out. Draymond Green out. So we do get to maybe hyper-focus some usage on like Jordan Poole, stuff like that. But becomes a hard game to target, at least with a high level of confidence due to the Miami Heat matchup. Bogdanovich with a quad was questionable all day yesterday, ended up playing, put up 30 points. You do worry about the back-to-back now. Would they be cautious there? They have ruled out Danilo Gallinari for the Hawks, so that front court's going to be no Gallo, no John Collins, so maybe a little bit safer expectations in terms of minutes of Capela, Onyeka Okongwu, stuff like that. So we're going to dig through it, go game by game. We also have Seth Curry, Goran Dragic as GTD. Seth Curry, of course, would be a little bit more of a shooting impact, I think, with a lot of eyes on Kyrie Irving and the birthday narrative. So yeah, hey, this stream powered by RunDFS.com and the like button. So if you haven't hit that like button and you don't want me to lose power and connection, you should probably do so. Are they kidding me with this grass again? So make sure you do that. Start the stream hot. Hopefully we'll exceed 100 likes today because we're doing some homework. We're doing some heavy labor here when it comes to analyzing basketball. And if you guys want to keep the discussion going after this stream, we'll be in the RunDFS.com premium Discord. That's behind the paywall at RunDFS.com. You guys can jump into that with a membership at RunDFS.com. There's week passes, 2-week pass, month pass, and then, of course, the MLB season. And don't get it twisted. It's not just for baseball. It's all things VIP, but MLB season guarantees that it'll give you entire coverage for the whole MLB regular season, which is until, I believe, October 5th. All of our passes come with a credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. They recently made a lot of improvements on their already incredible product last night, so a little extra bang for your buck. I'm an idiot. And then, yeah, jump in that premium Discord, and we'll go from there. Let's get caught up on chat before we jump into the main slate, or the first game here. Anything I'm missing? Jalen Smith's one of my best value plays on Power Forward, says McCall. That's awesome. Kate Johnson, what up, Kate Johnson? Said, Mr. Get Your Pencil Ready. Josh in the building. Josh, you got the pencil, right? We don't listen to you unless you have the pencil. There we go.
I got it.
That's what you need. Right. Next season, if you decide to double down on analysis, we're gonna have to get like a little brand. We're gonna have like a Einstein Mad Scientist cartoon, and then there's gonna be a pencil play of the, I don't know. and then we're gonna mark. I'm gonna I don't know, have to find a deal, make edible pencils, start selling that. I don't know. We can make you big. Out of order, Auto Porter. Yes, they're still looking for a nasty 2-pick I can drop a lot on PrizePicks, says Matt. Hopefully, we'll feel super confident on at least 2 picks today. Daniel's making my man a strawberry banana and red grape smoothie. Let's go. Okay. I'm excited for that. Let's get to 50 likes next 2 minutes. Where are we at? 24 with 85? I think we can do it. Matter of fact, chat, you guys could be living in the Hall of Fame. Check this out. I haven't had a chance to throw this graphic at you in a while because we haven't been doing these numbers in a while. But I'm pretty confident we're not ever going to touch 300-plus viewers for the rest of this NBA season. But we can always break the 189 like goal, always, because every day we hit 200 plus, so it just needs everyone to hit that thumbs up. So if you guys want to get your jersey in the rafters for chat room greatness on 323, that 189 is always beatable. It's always beatable. So the quicker we get to 100, the quicker we can get to 200. So go do that. Go be great. Y'all on smoothies, I'm on coffee. I definitely think coffee's in my future tonight. Probably drink a cup and get on the PlayStation. Many guards to play tonight. The Canadians not here today. Not today, Josh. Looks like Raj is probably not going to be on the show for the rest of the week. So we might get a whole lot of Josh in our future.
I got some bad news.
What?
I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. We're taking a day off. We're going to Sausalito's, the beach, for the whole day. So
this guy in his life and his family.
Trust me, I'm gonna miss you guys. Even though it's just a day.
Shame this guy, chat. Boo. No, I'm just kidding. So
it's 5 games though, right?
I think it's 4. So we'll get all the goodness out of you. Oh my god.
Today's the day. I feel good about today.
Okay. What up, Keith? What up, Justin Sports? Haven't seen you in a minute. Yeah. All right, let's talk some basketball here. Let's open up the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. And 7 p.m., first set of games. Pistons hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, DeLon Wright, maybe Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capela. I've seen a couple of lineups. Also project Bogdan Bogdanovic, Timothy Luwawu, Cabarro. But I guess we'll know for sure before lock because it is part of the first set of games at lock. Detroit Pistons project starting 5. Corey Joseph, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Isaiah Stewart. A 227 total, 4.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Atlanta Hawks. Hawks coming off a dub dub in MSG last night. They do list Bogdanovic as questionable for the same designation that he had yesterday, which is that thigh contusion or something like that. And they did, go ahead and give us Gallo out. So I feel like he would be a true game time decision at this point. But last night, hey man, he was able to drop 30 real points. So I feel like, it's right knee soreness. Okay, I thought it was a thigh contusion. My bad. So I guess keep an eye on that. Those knees can certainly be a killer. If he can play, clearly at 5'9" on Fanduel, I'd be involved. I probably expect over 30 fantasy points, but right now I'm kind of bracing for him to be out just because of that designation being so late. But if we did get Bogdanovic out, and we know that Gallo's out, we know that Clint Capela's out, we know that Gallinari's out, Clint Capela's in. Trae Young probably takes up a lot of scoring responsibility against this Pistons team. So this 227 total. Trae Young's the guy out here getting you 30 points a game. He had 27, I believe, by half yesterday. I do like the thought of him as a DFS play, and then I've also been pretty privy to him from a prop play as well. I literally have a broken projection. Before we went live, I wanted to see what it would look like if I took Bogdanovic out of the mix, and it got to 70 fantasy points as a projection. So if we get Bogdan guaranteed out, I'm probably going to play some Bogdan or some Trae Young here. Something to keep an eye on. And the mix there, and also maybe that Clint Capela lob city comes back, and Gallo's one of those guys that can threaten Capela's minutes if they go small. I don't think against the Pistons you do go small, but at least the option is down to really just a Kongu and Capela at this point. Capela let a lot of people down last night. He played 28 minutes, played plenty of minutes. He just did nothing. It's incredible that Capela and Mitchell Robinson ended up not getting like a bunch of rebounds and points while playing decent minutes. But yes, there's a stretch where you can see Gallo play some bigs. But I also do like the thought of a Kongu. A Kongu played 19 minutes yesterday as well. We can see 20 plus. So Josh, from an analytical standpoint, though, Trae Young is probably my favorite guy in this game. And then if I had to run it back on the other side, it's going to be Cade Cunningham. I do wonder if I'm getting enough meat on the bone at 8,200 on FanDuel, 87 on DK with Sadiq Bey, with Jeremy Grant, and Isaiah Stewart, Marvin Bagley in that front court, rotating here and there. Kelly Olynyk look like he's in here as well. So it's kind of a full-strength Pistons team. And yeah, I want to like Cade Cunningham, but I also think that the price is somewhat appropriate here. And I don't feel like I'm going to get a lot of bang for my buck. Unlike yesterday where I sell out for floor, today I sell out for ceiling. I need every ounce of greatness. There is a range of outcome for 50-plus fantasy points on Cade Cunningham, something like we saw R.J. Barrett do yesterday. But unlike R.J. Barrett, it's not a one guy here. There is still Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant. So what would you walk away with from this game, knowing that there's so many options tonight? There's going to be some more trendy spots to attack, more warm and fuzzy spots to attack, especially if we get Halliburton in. Is it just Trae Young and like a Capela? Do you think if we got Bogdanovic out, you get some tertiary shares of Kevin Huerter, or even secondary shares of Kevin Huerter, because he could be second. It'd probably be top 3 on the team in shot attempts if Bogdan was out. It could be top 2, and he's not number 1. What do you think about Hawks and Pistons?
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally with you on if Bogdan's out. Trey should have just, all the usage, assist and everything, and fill the stat line. Yeah, so I mean the Hawks are fighting for that 10th last spot, the playing game spot. Mm-hmm. So they really need to go out strong in this last 10 games. So Trey, even though they're going against Detroit, they are on the road, and if Bogdan's out, they're going to be, a little bit weaker offensively. So Trey is going to have to carry the load. And, maybe that game last night lit a fire under him, and we've seen him get on heaters before. So I totally get it. His price tag is, it is pricey, but it might just be too good to pass up. And when your model breaks for a guy, usually it comes through. So I'm going to trust the process, and I could definitely get on Trae Young. And now Clint Capela, he had a terrible game last night. Like one of his worst I've seen in a while. I think like in the fourth quarter, he had like 4 rebounds, which is nuts. Yeah. And he was playing minute. I mean, he was like, I think it was like the start of the fourth or maybe a little bit into the fourth. He had like already logged 25 minutes. So it wasn't just due to lack of minutes. He just wasn't playing good. But this is a bounce back spot for him. I'm can we go back to his first half prop? If talking about the prop realm of things, it's a really good matchup. We've attacked the Pistons front court all season long.
Hey, don't be afraid to bring up props. So people in the chat, they're here to talk props too.
So, yeah, I mean, it should be considered, right? His first half prop.
Cheyenne super chatted $2. Trey or Murray on FD. Chuma if Wendell is out.
Or Murray on Fanduel. Trey being Trey Lyles, or Murray. Wait, that can't. Oh, Trey Young. Okay,
Trey Young versus DeJounte, right?
All right.
Is that what
she spelled it like Trey Lyles. I thought she meant Trey. Okay, so Trey Young or DeJounte Murray. I guess
that's a good question.
That is if so Murray's still in a lopsided spread. Trey Young, if Bogdan's out, I think it would be me. I think that's where I would go Trey Young probably, but if Bogdan's out. It's more of a coin flip if they're closer. Chuma Okeke if Wendell Carter's out for the Magic. So that would be I've got the Magic. Control F Magic. I'm trying to see what I had on the there it is. No, there's not. Yeah, am I blind? Oh, there it is. I guess Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, if Wendell Carter was out, I guess that would be a great spot for Okeke, but we're still kind of banking on a lot of unknown. So Chuma, if Okeke's out, would still profile pretty well. He's actually profiling decently as is right now. I might have to double check my minute projections on him, but the Oklahoma City Thunder front court has certainly been one of the more lucrative matchups all year long that we've been targeting, and Chuma does have those fake stock games. Last night got 24 minutes, so he's been 24, 30 minutes last couple games. So I think he borderline viable as is, and then if Wendell Carter ended up not playing, would be that much more of a great play, assuming that he draws the start there. But they do have a couple of weird rotations, and those teams that aren't playing for anything are very, very hard to predict. But I would assume, but I would say Trey if Bogdan's out, coin flip if he's not, and then you could definitely play Okeke without Wendell. I appreciate that too, though. What do you got, Josh?
I would say Detroit does get up for Atlanta. I remember this game now. I was looking back. It was 3 weeks ago. And it was in Detroit, just like today, and it went to overtime. And it was one of Trey's, actually one of his worst games. And Bogdan had to carry the load. Bogdan ended up as the leading scorer on the team. But Cade had that was one of his best performances. And he logged over 40 minutes in that game. He almost had a triple double and almost 30 real points. I mean, so Vegas thinks it's going to be pretty similar today, right? The Pistons won by 3. It's a 4-point spread right now. So
yeah, I mean, Gallo's a pretty significant absence, John Collins, and then obviously Bogdan being what it is. So I definitely think you get the Hawks on a back-to-back. Hawks, of course, bottom 5 in defense. Pistons kind of gelling, right? Yeah, kind of gelling. So
I mean, Cade is. You could tell he really wants that Rookie of the Year. So I really like him in this matchup. I know you mentioned his price tag kind of being tough to get at, but I mean, if this game stays close and he logs over 40 minutes against the Hawks, I think he can pay off that price tag, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely think there's a ceiling on Cade Cunningham today. I just think the price point has caught up to what the more median range of outcomes is. It's not that free 7K, high 6-8. Just because there's always a risk that Sadiq Bey catches fire. Jeremy Grant, shout out to Cam in the chat. Cam says, what's stopping Jeremy Grant from popping in a game that I think the Pistons wins? Cam, by the way, a little context, is a big Hawks fan.
Cool.
I mean, that's a good point. They don't have a lot of size in that front court. So Grant, Isaiah Stewart, Marvin Bagley, all these guys, Kelly Olynyk, all these guys have a path of less resistance than usual. Not that Gallo's a lockdown defender, but it's an easy path to success, which makes the likelihood of Cade Cunningham's ceiling game being vultured a little bit more probable. So I'm certainly going to have exposure to Cade in fantasy tonight, but I think we would all agree that I have my girlfriend's hair sticking out of my cap. She's been wearing my hat. Would all agree that it's not a lock because Sadiq Bey could pop, Jeremy Grant could pop. So I'm going to have a little bit of exposure to Cunningham in in DFS, but I probably wouldn't isolate anything to be a primary play. Get caught up here. Cade's averaging 25 points last 5 games. He is. There's always something in each of those games where there'd be a no Grant or, you know what I'm saying, like a no significant absence, but it is a matchup all year long we've been targeting against the Hawks. So I don't want anything to be spun like I'm not on Cunningham. I'm just trying to stress that it is a little bit more volatile today than it has been, at least in the last couple of games, just because really every matchup profiles as a solid matchup because of how bad the Hawks are on defense. And then, Pistons just jobbed to the Blazers, so who knows. 55 fantasy points, don't cut it at 8.7. Mike, I think it would. 50 plus fantasy points at anything under 9K, you're getting a good deal. At that point, don't think about value specifically. Oh, did I get 6x value, blah, blah, blah. Raw points are raw points. On a site this big, we're really trying to find the 4K less guys, the 3K guys that are going to get us 10x, and then anyone that gives us 50 plus fantasy points at under 9K certainly has a chance to slip into the optimal lineup. So don't disqualify Cunningham from a player pool if you thought 50 wasn't going to be satisfactory. It's still a way to probably circumvent Cunningham lines with other guys because of how many. Did LeBron just got rolled out? Oof.
Ducking.
He's ducking the Embiid hands. Not my goat. Oof. All right.
Well, I'm glad we spent that time talking about him.
Yeah, right. God dang it. Am I going to have to play Russell Westbrook knowing that it's not going to work? God dang it, man. Oh.
Man, the value is opening up today. At least the ownership is going to be spread around.
Yeah. All right. All right, we need to move on from this one.
At least I don't have to play 76ers props now.
First half, right?
Sure.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense. It does. Because the Lakers are going to be the play-in team no matter what, right? But you ducking on national television? Come on, Bron. Where's Raj? If Raj was here right now, I'd be going in, bro. What
would he say? What would he say in response?
People don't understand. Okay? You can't expect blah, blah, blah. He would come up with some nonsensical Jordan sat a primetime game once. It's just some
back in 1992.
It definitely takes the sting out of Embiid and Harden a little bit more too. So that might also boost our confidence in Trey and DeJounte, guys like that, but also probably boost the Fields ownership to sway, just assuming the blowout. But of course, that could be, Sixers on the road. It could be a little bit of a hashtag DFS night, right? Jordan would never do that. Shout out to Renza. It took Russ PRA at 29.5. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get in trouble with Russell Westbrook. It never failed. And I don't think it's worked ever. Like maybe once or twice this year with that LBJ. Like I played Russ against the Knicks. I got like 70 from it. But for the most part, oh, thank you, babe. This is the smoothie. Let's go.
Does it taste good?
That is good. Yeah, you got yogurt in that?
Yes.
All right, I dig it. Thank you, babe.
I always put yogurt in it.
Raj is mad funny. Yeah, Raj is a character. All right, so let's move on from that game. We'll try and throw a lasso around the Lakers stuff. That'll be one of the last games we'll talk about anyway. But let's get over to the King spot. There was no other news than just LeBron, right? Pull this up on the Discord. Lakers say LeBron James' knee is out against the Sixers. LeBron James ruled out. So, yeah. Project starting five for the Kings here: Davion Mitchell, Justin Holiday, Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, Damian Jones, taking on Tyrese Halliburton, Chris Duarte, Buddy Hield, Oshae Brissett, Isaiah Jackson, a 234.5 total, 4.5 point spread in favor of the Indiana Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon being rolled out of this game an hour or so ago. Pretty significant news. Let me refresh the news and notes here. And Tyrese Halliburton is carrying a Q tag. And you when they rolled out Brogdon, it's for rest, right? They didn't designate an ailment specifically. So I do think that I'm leaning towards them thinking that Halliburton is playing and having the luxury to rest Brogdon. That's just just how I interpreted that. Obviously, that's not a 100% true thing because Qs are Qs, but that's kind of what I'm taking away from this far out. Halliburton's listed with a sore lower back, and Chris Duarte is also questionable. He's got a left big toe, and Isaiah Jackson in that front court is dealing with a concussion. So let's prepare as if this Pacers team is going to be what we're looking at. And I think what we're really wanting to play with is Halliburton against his old team, part of that trade at the deadline with Sabonis. And then Buddy Hield, I guess, against his old team as well. That's fun. And then this front court could be a little bit more isolated if we lost Isaiah Jackson, right? We could lean on Goga. We could lean on Brissett. We could lean on Jalen Smith. So there's still some more lingering news for the Pacers that would really tighten the screws here. But the Kings, of course, all year long have been a team that we targeted. And then, not to bury the lead here, but a lot of the beat writers for the Kings, especially the one, has speculated that we won't see De'Aaron Fox or Sabonis for the rest of the year. That sounds dramatic, but the rest of the year isn't but a couple more weeks. So this might be the Kings that we expect slate to slate, which is Davion Mitchell, who at 4,600 at high 30s in minutes. That's going to be one of the hardest plays to get away from against a sloppy defense in the Pacers. And Halliburton, we give him all that love for the assist, right, Josh? He can turn it over too. And Davion, he's known as off day in the streets because he gives people an off day. And then Trey Lyles, right as we went off the air on the last show, you said you're adding Trey Lyles to the prop board because yeah, he's projecting extremely well. We've been picking on this Pacers front court for weeks now, and now losing a high-usage guy in Sabonis and in Fox, we're picking up the pieces. Rashawn Holmes is done for the year, too. Trey Lyles is absolutely one of those guys that I can lean on with an elevated level of confidence, and I do think Davion Mitchell, Trey Lyles, guys like that are probably going to be generally underpriced, especially on FanDuel, 46 and 5K, so $9,600 for what I got is implied almost 80 fantasy points between the two on FanDuel. So I'm going to be pretty bullish on that. Trey Lyles and really all of the Kings, they're coming off a couple of games against perceptually and metrically tough spots. Phoenix, Boston, Milwaukee, like those defenses are no pushovers. And, here we are with a couple of positive results here, especially for fantasy. I remember that Boston game, Sabonis had a huge game, but hey, so did Trey Lyles. So I do think Trey Lyles should be a pretty easy click on both FanDuel and DK, but especially on FanDuel. Same for Davion Mitchell. And then just process of elimination and guesstimates and stuff like that. Offensively, I think Dante DiVincenzo has an elevated responsibility. I think Harrison Barnes might surprise a couple of us. And I just think, generally speaking, Josh, we've been full sending against the Pacers in like three-man stacks. And here we are with a full Kings team that is 6K or less, and the 6K guy is Harrison Barnes. What do you not like about the Kings, man? I think this entire rotation might be in the pool, and hey, Justin Holiday revenge too while we're at it, right? What? I mean, this is just load up, right? I think the Pacers, once the dust settles on Pacers news, I'll feel more confident in saying some names over there. But all the Kings are going to be absorbing a lot of exposure in my personal player pool.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, yeah, Pacers front court, it's just always been attackable as of late, and I just I want to do it again today. Even though we have guys like Trey Lyles and Damian Jones to work with, but Damian Jones, I mean, he's flash upside. Former Warrior, we drafted him and gave him a chance. And we moved on from him, but I mean, he's shown a lot of improvement, and if he gets an extended run, I think he has upside. He can have a ceiling at this price tag, especially on DK. He's only 3,700. Now on DK, I feel like you're gonna have to make a decision because I don't know if I guess you could, but I don't know if I would play Harrison Barnes and Trey Lyles together, and they're both 5,500. What's their position eligibility on DK?
For who?
Lyles and Barnes.
Lyles is going to be power forward center. Barnes is going to be small forward and power forward.
Okay. So, yeah, potential to play them both here. I don't know. What's your link? Would you play both of them? I mean, because
Yeah, literally, I'm getting the most broken projections for a full team, but it's the Pacers, and it makes sense. I think on a slate this big, I'm gonna cap exposure to 3 Pacers, or excuse me, 3 Kings. If it was a smaller slate, you might see me in the streets with 4 Kings. And even if you thought 4 Kings and a Trey or Embiid, you know what I'm saying, one of those pay up studs was a proper way to go. Sure, go for it. I think the 8, 7, 8, 9K is pretty strong tonight. I mean, we're still going to talk about RJ Barrett, guys like that are in great spots. But I think I'm going to cap the Kings at 3 in my fantasy cruncher, and just kind of set pretty decently high caps on Mitchell. So I could see myself on FanDuel. I logistically could see myself with 60-70% of Davion. I haven't got a pulse on ownership yet, but 46 is really doggone cheap for the amount of minutes that he's applied for right now. And then Trey
I
Lyles,
like him. Yeah, I like Davion a lot. I mean he looked really good in that Suns game, and man, the Kings almost pulled that upset off. They took him to overtime. However, I think Sabonis definitely helped Davion's offensive production because he was feeding off the pick and rolls, and Sabonis always looks for the open guy and the 3 ball, and Davion was getting threes from him. But I mean, he's gonna take the shots. Especially the shots that Dante doesn't take. Dante, man, he didn't look good in that Suns game. He was just chucking and throwing up bricks. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna chuck it too. But I like Davion probably the most at that salary.
Yeah.
And he's gonna dish it out. And like you said, he's going to try to get stocks as well. And then for the Pacers, I mean, if Halliburton's ruled in with no Brogdon, I just think against this Kings team, I would just lock it in, especially on FanDuel. It's 7,900. I mean,
I was just going to say, I think the price is drastically or in contrast from FanDuel to DK. I think I'll have more Halliburton on FanDuel than DK. I don't know why I have a little bit of pessimism about Halliburton from a fantasy perspective. I love him for assist, but the turnovers can exist 3-4, and maybe I'm just overthinking it. I'd say, well, let me put some numbers on it so I can settle down. And so I'm gonna go run an on-off court NBA Wowie query here. Hopefully, it's doing that.
Yeah, I guess it's like you have to ask yourself: is his stock potential worth outweigh the turnover potential? Because he is 3rd in the league in total steals.
Yeah. All right, add more funds is broken again, so I guess
it's
like this time every day. It goes really slow.
It's me and you crashing it.
Maybe. So. Yeah, I guess without Brogdon, it makes sense for Halliburton to lead the team in assists. And then if Halliburton ended up not playing, and we lost to Horte, Lance will make him dance at home. I can see that.
Bro, did you see him that other night? He looked like Rondo out there, man. He had like 11 assists in just 1 quarter almost.
Play some air guitar tonight. And then if Isaiah Jackson gets rolled out, we saw Goga have a big game. The front court with the Pacers is the most, I think, the highest potential spot for me to get wrong. Brissett, Isaiah Jackson, Goga, all those guys are per minute monsters. There's an outcome where they all get like 25 and they just don't matter at the end of the night. But if I lost one of them, like an Isaiah Jackson, Goga certainly could, 6x, 7x, and then same with Brissett. But price is a little bit more appropriate. But yeah, I think for prop betting though, Tyrese Halliburton makes a lot of sense. Did they adjust anything on price picks for the Pacers? From after the Brogdon, nothing came out yet. Okay,
I mean they haven't had props.
Gotcha.
Yet at all for him, so. Yeah, they're waiting for that. They're waiting for that Halliburton news.
If Halliburton and Brogdon is out, would we be looking for Buddy Hield points?
Yeah, he's gonna get assists if all those guys are out. Especially he's gonna dish it to guys like Dwayne Washington, and Dwayne Washington will chuck it from 3 if all those guys are out. Could you, if all those guys are out? I mean, I guess he's almost mid-price on DK. Dwayne Washington, he's very scoring dependent though.
I literally despise playing. I hate playing Dwayne Washington, but
I know.
Might have to do it. Might have to do it.
I know.
I think Lance is the guy that I'll literally. It'll kill me, but I'll do it. I will do it.
Hey, I mean, he's gonna play blowout run. I mean, that's what they did last game against the Blazers.
I mean, he might honestly might just have part like without Brogdon, he might have meaningful minutes regardless for whatever that's worth. So
and if Dorte's out, if Dorte and Brogdon, even if Halliburton plays,
yeah, no, 100%. So anyway, let's get caught up on chat here. If Brogdon's out and Halliburton's out, says Hater Onzo, or O'Shea are out. O'Shea is going to go off. You like a Brissett? Okay, I can get behind that. Hill will rain threes today. Let's go. Justin Anderson. The Andersons got tickets. All right, let's move on to the next game. Knicks at the Hornets. Project 75 for the Knicks. Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson taking on LaMelo Ball. Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, and Mason Plumlee. 225.5 total. 7 points spread for the home team, Charlotte Hornets. Knicks, night 2 of a back-to-back loss to the Hawks last night. I almost said Falcons. They will be without Julius Randle yet again. And without Julius Randle, we expect RJ Barrett to lead the team in all the usage categories, and I have him pretty heftily projected here at high 40s. So he's certainly somebody that under AK on both DK and FanDuel, much like last night. It's going to project extremely well, especially going against the Hornets team that we've been targeting all year. Another pace-up spot for them. Knicks generally one of the slower-paced teams. Hornets a faster-paced team. So it's going to be a good spot as long as this game does stay close. I'm a little pessimistic on Knicks on a back-to-back against the Hornets at home. When the Hornets are horneting, Rozier, Bridges, these guys that are doing well. I do worry about the Knicks without Randall, so something to keep an eye on. But for now, I'm gonna assume this is gonna be less than 15-point spread, and if that happens, I expect Thibodeau to kind of leave RJ Barrett, Alec Burks out there. And I just don't think their prices are efficiently set, considering the matchup, considering the absence of Julius Randle. So a lot to like from the Knicks side. The Hornets, while we started the season for the Hornets, at least for me, being a team that I attack for fantasy quite often, they have really become unpredictable from a who is optimal game, slate to slate, and who even matters at the end of the night. LaMelo Ball at almost 9K, Terry Rozier 7.5 8K, Miles Bridges almost 8K. We've seen Isaiah Thomas emerge, get some minutes, get extended. Kelly Oubre, Montrezl Harrell in that front court. There's enough guys there that can vulture other guys. We call it the cannibalize each other. Then I think tonight there's an outcome. I don't have any Hornets exposure because I feel that okay with being elsewhere. And if I lose out because I missed out on that 60 Rozier, you know what I'm saying, because LaMelo got 5 fouls in 12 minutes, something like that, then I guess that's a risk I'm willing to take, and just hoping that there's multiple ways to skin a cat tonight. So Knicks look pretty good to me. Hornets look uncomfortable to me. Chat, you guys let me know if you have a specific Hornet that you're digging. I think it's fair to maybe expect this Knicks front court defense to maybe suffer a little bit without Randall, but we didn't see a big game out of Capela yesterday, and Mason Plumlee's been untrustworthy. So I think I'm going to focus on Burks Barrett. I think you can sell me on a kiss of Fournier in mass entry.
Oh.
I know
he didn't touch the court in the fourth quarter. What was up with that?
Last night. All right, let's pull up the New York.
Or maybe he played it like a few minutes, but he definitely didn't close.
Fournier, no, he didn't touch the court in the fourth quarter. They closed with Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Alec Burks, Taj Gibson, Quentin Grimes, and Quickly. So your closing lineup was Quickly, Gibson, Burks, Robinson, RJ Barrett, and that was answering the lineup of, I guess, Capela for a couple minutes.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I feel like that's not atypical. I don't know. Was he just super inefficient, and they thought that Taj Gibson gave him a better chance to win than Evan Fournier, I guess?
Well, that's Tibbs' boy, too. So.
It is, but hey, Gibson on a back-to-back, maybe take the night off, champ. Fournier was 3 for 9. It's not like he was having a horrendous night. I don't know. That is something good on you for remembering that. But so for me, it's like Alec Burks and RJ Barrett, though. That's almost it. Yeah. I think you could still get behind Mitchell Robinson. I'm getting a broken projection on him. And yesterday, despite the rebounds and real points not being like incredible, he still got you blocks and steals. Like it was almost incredible to see him have 7 stocks. Got you 30 fantasy points on 6 rebounds and 9 points. And, on FanDuel, that's 21 fantasy points on FanDuel on PrizePicks, just based on stocks alone. So that's the potential that you get when Mitchell Robinson's out there. And then, in the spot without Julius Randle, I still think he's live for some more rebounds and points. Like, I took a plus 300 bet on him to get a double-double yesterday. Obviously, it didn't work, but I still think 10 and 10 is something that's easy enough to kind of grab against the Hornets. And this Hornets team, certainly a team you can get off on because of their extra implied possession. So for me, it's Alec Burks and RJ Barrett, and I'm okay with walking away. I might grab Mitchell Robinson. Like, I might start walking hand in hand with Barrett and Burks, and then I'll look around and I'll see a sad Mitchell Robinson. I was like, okay, you can come too. But that's kind of it for me. What are you thinking? Obi Toppin, day late value maybe?
Maybe. I mean, we've read this novel twice already, or seen the story, and it's ugly. I mean, the first time they played, it was 104-96. The second time was 97-87. I mean, it can only get worse from there, right? With Randall being out and Knicks being on a back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
And now that, like you said, the Hornets are so diluted, especially with IT in the mix. I mean, he's coming in and he is ball hogging, like taking so many shots away from guys when he's getting his rotation. It would be a stay away for me. With all the value opening up today and all the potential plays from those games, I don't see any reason to flock to this game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, well, you know what we should flock to is the like button right here on youtube.com/Gundecker. And then if you haven't, or if you have, hit that like button, but you haven't hit that sub button, you should definitely hit that one too, because we are running down a dream. 7K wouldn't come to me. I had to go to and you guys, it's a whole thing.
Do you want more smoothie?
Yes, please. So we are at 6828 subs right now. So 7K in the month of March is still doable, but we're gonna need to make a charge. And Josh, we've been holding up our end, right? Videos are just a pumping. Yesterday we had 4 pieces of content yesterday, and then daily you can expect 2 or 3 based on the first look video, the 2 streams, and so on and so forth. So yeah, if you guys like that, hit that sub button. And baseball content coming soon. I'm pretty good at the baseballs too. So next game on the docket, Utah. It looks like you're holding your head in shame on my second screen here.
No, that Knicks game made me depressed.
Oh, I thought you were still in shame because your wife walked in on you watching a Blazers game. I gotta clip that one. That was a good laugh. I gotta clip that one. Man,
anytime talking about the Knicks and like Hornets makes me sad. Let's talk about a fun game,
bro. Can I just say I'm slow cooking beef tips, and I made this broth, this brew. It's smelling so good, and it's an 8-hour recipe, and we're on hour 2, so I got 6 hours of just torture right now coming my way. I'm fat. Utah Jazz at the Boston Celtics. Next game on the docket. Project starting fire for the Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Royce O'Neal, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, Rudy Gobert, up against Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Robert Williams, the Time Lord. 216 total, 5 point spread in favor of the Boston Celtics. This is the worst game in the history of fantasy sports. I'll tell you what.
I'd say the Warriors game.
Yeah, that is nasty. Typically, 2 negatives equal a positive. Man, how many times in years past have we seen 2 tough defenses, Heat, Celtics, just combined to have like an offensive showcase? So I do have that kind of thought in the back of my mind. So I might get to a little Donovan Mitchell at 84 on Fanduel. But metrically, we're dealing, on a big slate. Metrically, we're dealing with 2 of the. On a big slate, metrically, we're dealing deja vu. We're dealing with 2 of the slowest paced teams in basketball. Boston and Utah, both bottom half. And then defensively, Boston, of course, has the best defensive rating, and Utah is top 10. And I do think that their defensive efficiency certainly feels a little stronger at home than on the road. And 5 point spread kind of loses. I say all that to say this, man. We spent some time on like a Pistons team breakdown, on a Knicks breakdown. I'm fine with walking away from this game, and if I miss out, I miss out. I'm not seeing a lot of bang for my buck. Like I guess a Jaylen Brown at 7.3, 8.2 could squeeze by, especially if like a Marcus Smart Q ended up being a O. But I think from an upside standpoint, I might stay away from this game and hope for the best. Chad, do you agree? Do you disagree? And is this a 2 negatives equal a positive situation, Josh? No, right? No?
I mean, if it was a smaller slate and there was less options, we could maybe tinker it a bit and try to squeeze out the value and the best plays. But just I feel like the potential and price tags are too good in other matchups. Like Donovan Mitchell's 8,400 on FanDuel, like you said, but Cade is right there at 8,200 on FanDuel, and I think the upside's higher in a higher implied total game and potentially more offense in that game. So yeah, that's just an example of like where I could get to different spots other than this game. But yeah, I would not go heavy on this one in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's DFS, so.
It is DFS. Hey, shout out. Shout out to my ex. Gotta say thanks for the stress. If not, I would never left. And found, okay, anyway, Andy Minio. Yo, shout out to Zev. Oh, your God. DM Martin 20. All these cats joining the free Discord. You guys should also do that. Free Discord link in the description below. It's literally free, and you get to hang out with the homies from chat all day. Only thing we say is bring the vibes. No toxicity. None of this. You're an idiot for betting second half Austin Rivers rebounds in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? We out here trying to be great, see each other be great. So you bring the vibes, we'll be chilling like Trey Young, the villain, in Discord. So go join that. Links in the description below. Chad, I'm done on this game. You guys got anything on this one? Willie says fade Boston game defensive about. Yeah, I'm kind of agree with that. Steve says when I say Tatum, more of a decent pay up to be contrarian. Yeah, I definitely think like if I'll probably max Celtics as at 1. In terms of per team exposure, and if I get to a Tatum here or there in 150, like less than 10%, the same with Jaylen Brown, that's fine. And I don't hate a Donovan Mitchell share or two, but for the most part, like if I get to none, I'm not gonna lose sleep. Let me double check the Celtics news on Marcus Smart. He's probable. Robert Williams probable. All right, cool. Next game on the docket: Miami Heat hosting the Golden State Warriors. We got a doozy. Project starting 5 for the Warriors: Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Kevin Looney taking on Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy G, Buckets, PJ Tucker, and Bam Adebayo. We got 209.5 total. 10-point spread. Shout out to, I'm assuming Jax updated the spreadsheet. Shout out to Jax with the total updates. This is a yuck game that is pretty yuck, and it's bad. We can definitely put a lot of implied minutes and usage on Jordan Poole. If this game does stay competitive, you might see Jordan Poole, drop 30 real points. And this is a Heat team that did just get caught with their pants down against Tyrese Maxey and the like. So, obviously anything is possible. But the Warriors did not look great last night against the Magic. And
like I said, I told you yesterday, it's time to pack it in for the season, man. It's a wrap.
I'm not a rapper. Josh is the most self-loathing. I guess I don't know what it is about sports fans. We're all self-loathing, except me. I love my Yankees, best team ever, great offseason. F all the haters. But Josh is so self-loathing. We were in the voice chat yesterday after lock in the RunDFS.com premium Discord. Dog, he was like, yeah, we might as well just pack it in, get ready for next season. The Warriors are 47-25, the 3 seed, and he's ready to give up. I'm get the freak out of here, bro. Curry comes back in playoffs, it'll be all right. But
there's no way they can't get close to the Suns, man. The Suns are too good.
I mean, I don't disagree with that, but my goodness. Anyway, I think this is certainly a game that feels like Steve Kerr is going to troll the world. I'm not likely to get to Wiggins. I think I'd get to a little bit of Jordan Poole just because I think he could score quite a bit. Do you have any gems here, man? Kuminga, Bielisa, JTA. We saw Gary Payton back in the mix. Nothing or anything that you feel somewhat good about. Chat, chime in as well.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing with Steve Kerr, especially when he punts and he has these big rotations. He's gonna just go with the hot hand. If a guy's playing well, he's gonna get more run. So predicting minutes on these guys is gonna be really hard. Besides, Poole and Wiggins. And if the game gets out of hand pretty early on, like Wiggins will definitely get pulled because he's just banged up right now and sore. But I mean, we've seen Moody have some big games with all those guys resting. He has flashed that upside. If he can get hot from three. And Kuminga, man, I love Kuminga, but he just can't stop fouling. So he has the upside for sure, but the foul trouble is just, that's always concerning with him. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, Poole, he's gonna have the shots. The only problem is his price tag caught up to him, and he's very scoring dependent. I mean, he does get assists, but not really known for his stocks. Yeah, and with the potential blowout, I would be hesitant on it. But
yeah,
like Gunn said, I'm very skeptical on the Warriors because
self-loathing.
I'm a big fan of obviously. So, I mean, and then the Heat, like, what do you do?
So I'll say this: it feels like a punt game from Steve Kerr. There's a lot of cues on the Miami Heat team, and obviously, if we lose one big one like a Jimmy Butler, we're gonna open eyes to like Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, and vice versa. So let me go through the cues here. First of all, Victor Oladipo listed with lower back spasms, listed as questionable. I feel like you don't even why. If I'm Spoelstra, all right, you're out. Depot. Tyler Hero left knee sprain after getting cooked, literally cooked, baked by the Tyrese Maxey that last outing. Jimmy Butler's always questionable, it feels like. He's listed with an ankle. Did play that last outing against Philly where we thought maybe he wouldn't play. And then Caleb Martin, left knee hyperextension. So there's 4 cues here. And I would say Oladipo, Hero, and Butler, not insignificant. So if you lost one of those 3, it would bolster. I probably don't ever justify Oladipo on this slate with the cap and minutes. But if you lost a Butler, hey, we're running to Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, some Tyler Hero, and we just carousel those 3. So I guess there's still a range of outcomes where this game that is completely meh and vomit induced right now could turn out to be a game that we end up targeting if some of those Qs turns into O's. So something to keep an eye on as we go forth in the day. Let's get caught up in chat. Shout out to the chat. 180 you guys hanging out. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, man. I think I don't know. I think we get to 100 likes today. So if you guys haven't hit that thumbs up, do so. But I don't know, man. I want one more big stream before the end of the year for you guys to break the live like record. I'm just trying to say, you put you guys in the rafters. 189 is the record that was January 31st before the All-Star break. One time for the one time before the end of the NBA season. You guys should be great. Just be great. So make sure you're smashing that thumbs up, and maybe, just maybe, we'll add your name to the list for the date. So lots to maybe like about the Heat later if the news shakes out the right way. What else we got in chat? Roscoe says, y'all sleeping on Mike Conley in these tough matchups, averaging like 40 on DK. It's very possible. I think that game certainly. I'm willing to be. I'm not wrong, but I'm willing. I'm open to the idea of the 2 negatives being a positive in terms of stronger implied defenses. I'm also open to the idea of Boston being the best defense on planet Earth and Utah on the road maybe not being as strong. So there's lots of outcomes for that game, but I still think pre-flop a lot of salary. I'm feeling a little bit more confident putting some of these other spots than I am in that one. But certainly the contrarian mind could pay off. So if you like that game, don't let Gun get you off of Celtics and Jazz. Matt says, I still need 2 or 3 on PrizePicks I can drop money on before I leave at 4:30. So in 25 minutes. All right, we'll do that. Just give me 1 second, Matt. We'll do a little. So you need 2 or 3. We'll do a little. What up, Garrett Mendenhall? What up, Chris Mendenhall? What up, Crispy? What up, Thugga-Thuggin? Says, how many X's do you aim for on Yahoo? So I'm assuming you mean blank X value. So my approach to Yahoo has not been like, and I'll be honest, blank X value is really not. It's a pretty elementary approach. It's a good starting point. It's still elementary without some modifications. On Yahoo, I haven't been focused on return on investment in terms of points per dollar. What I've noticed when I play on Yahoo is that the guys at $10, there's a lot of guys at like $15 or less dollars that are just broken price wise. So let me pull up my projections here. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, in the rundfs.com player projections tab, it's not just Fanduel and DK, it's Yahoo as well. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'll sort it from value. It looks like some of the more targetable guys are like 2x value. So I guess if you really wanted a baseline answer, 2 would be the magic number. It's magic. Okay. But guys like Tyus Jones, what basically there's going to be way too many people close to $10, the min price on Yahoo, to open up some of those $40, $50 guys. So I don't really stress the X value salary of the multipliers. I just look at who's broken price. Well, Tyus Jones, no John Morant, he's mid price at $10. Damian Jones, no Sabonis, no Rashawn Holmes, he's mid price. Davion Mitchell, $13. Probably no De'Aaron Fox, big minutes there. Who else is down here that just Trey Lyles, $15. Way too cheap. Okongwu probably splits center minutes down the middle with Capela. There's just so much value. So if I start a lineup and I get $40, $45 on 4 guys, and then I have $150 for some studs, that's how I approach it. So I still, at least just me, I've been honoring raw points after I start with the absolutely broken guys in salary, and Tyus Jones, Davion Mitchell, Trey Lyles, guys like that all kind of stick out here, You just made the list. You know what happens? I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you, Matt. Do you guys do Fanduel? Hey, what up, Apone? We do everything, buddy. PrizePicks, DraftKings, and Fanduel seem to be the most popular, but I'll look at Yahoo from time to time. What up, Jim? Dave Kavetsky, Gunn Jones or Dinwiddie in the point guard spot on Fanduel. Tyus Jones or Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm probably leaning Dinwiddie. The homie Gun Dacker in there. What up, Shark? How do we feel about DeJounte Murray tonight? We like that quite a bit. All right, so one time for my boy Matt. Matt wants 3 PrizePicks plays that he could put a little action on. So if you guys want to grab these plays as well, real quick, go to prizepicks.com, get signed up. When you sign up, use my code Gundacker, and they will quickly double your first deposit up to $100. And $20 becomes $40. You ain't got to throw $100 on it. I get it. $20 becomes $40, 40 becomes 50, blah, 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 blah. So if you're not on there, you should definitely be on there. We've been serving that community, the PrizePicks players, with a lot of content on this channel. There's a link in chat. So our boy wants 2 or 3 plays that we could send him away with, Josh. We have recently added Trey Lyles, right, as one of our guys to target. So I do like the thought of a king stack just generally, but Trey Lyles has a 29 fantasy point projection on PrizePicks. Last couple games he's flirted with that. He's actually hit the over in 2 of the last 3. Some of these games against Sabonis, some of these games against tougher defenses, Phoenix, Boston, Milwaukee points in the paint, really tough spot. Without Sabonis, without De'Aaron Fox, my early run projections actually likes Lyles to flirt with 40 fantasy points. So that's one of the larger differentials between the two. So I like Trey Lyles. If I had to give you guys a less than 3 or less than 4, Lyles would probably be number 1 right now. We also were privy to really all things Kings here, looking elsewhere on the PrizePicks board. What do you got?
Cameron Payne 7.5 assists. I feel really good about it.
Okay. Davion Mitchell's at 34 fantasy points. I do feel like that's doable. But Cameron Payne,
but I wish they had his assist prop.
All right. Yeah. Josh has been campaigning for campaign. Yeah.
This fast-paced matchup.
I'm not a rapper.
More shots. He's gonna distribute. It's gonna be a good game.
I'm with that. All right, cool. And then we also were Man, I don't know what to do. We had a couple of late leans.
We have a lot on the list right now that we need to narrow down for lock. But yeah, I mean, one of DeJounte props. You can do Trey Young's fantasy because it's broken the model. You have him. It's a 22-point differential right now.
Yeah, I like his fantasy. Yeah. Maybe the real points is a little more. If we get officially Bogdanovich out,
yes, that's a if. That's a pending. Yeah.
But even then, 28 is live for Trey Young.
Sure.
But yes, I would probably be on just about anything Trey Young as well.
And then DeJounte fantasy point or his free throw prop.
Okay, and then on double doubles they have Christian Wood and DeAndre Ayton. Is either one of them listed at 10 rebounds or more? No. All right, cool. So there's a couple, Matt. We keep it going. We'll keep it tightened up. I'll tell you what, since it is a big slate, the YouTube channel members, not the subscribers, we do have that members only Discord channel. Maybe we'll drop a prop detector in that today. What do you think? Yeah. I actually have a tag in YouTube membership. Somebody asked. Yeah, matter of fact, shout out to Hunyon Rue. No, clearly. I think that's Hayden Ronzo. It says dropping the prop detector tonight. So we'll say yes. So if you guys do want a final copy, it is, obviously it's part of the rundfs.com premium package, but I do like to have small thank yous to those of you guys that are supporting the channel with the membership subscription here. So shout out to everyone with the panda or a thing next to their name in chat. Wayne's World, Doug in chat, Antoine Murphy, Hollywood, EDC. So many new names in chat. CW89. Is Halliburton playing tonight? He's questionable.
Yeah, if he plays, that would be another key prop for us. Probably his assist prop. Would you agree?
Assist, yeah, probably. And then we're at 69 likes, over 200. So I think the next 15 minutes will probably be the highest on the view count. So if you guys, if you guys want to hit that like button record, I think now or never. So hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're trying to get to 7K subscribers as well. EDC says Capela rebounds is on my banned list.
Yeah, that was unlike him last night.
It was not what you want. All right, let's get back into where were we? Grizzlies and Nets. All right, Nets project starting 5. Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, he's questionable. Bruce Brown, Kevin Durant, Andre, the Giant, Drummond, taking on Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Stone Cold, Steven Adams. Gonna get you one board. What? He's gonna have a stupendous first half, right? Okay, I don't think Josh gets that. 237.5 total, 1.5 point spread.
Sorry, I was reading. What'd you say?
I said Stone Cold's gonna have a stupendous first half. Whatever. It's a wrestling. Whatever. Seth Curry's questionable. Goran Dragic's questionable. LaMarcus Aldridge is out. Hey, so is Ja Morant. Chat. You guys want a revelation? We talked about it on the PrizePicks show. I don't know how in depth we've ever touched it on the DFS show. But the Grizzlies without Ja Morant are the Celtics. The Grizzlies' defensive rating this season without Ja Morant. They have like a 99 defensive rating, 99.3 without Ja Morant this season in 16 games. And we said they're 14-2 in those games. So, yeah, they've been really clamping up defensively. Now, none of the teams there is some Sixers and stuff like that, but there is a lot of average to below average teams in that stretch of games. But as we saw with Houston, and they held Houston under 100, not that that's meaningful, but hey, Houston just beat the Grizzlies in the previous game with Ja Morant. There's something to it when you replace Ja Morant with Tyus Jones defensively. So probably a total that might be a little too high if we let metrics tell the story. But if we let narratives tell the story, Kyrie Irving celebrating a birthday today, and the last couple outings for Kyrie with KD, it's been the Kyrie show. So, Josh, have we really settled on what scenario, what simulation of this game that we want to live by? I know for DFS, we were really privy to for prop betting, we were really privy to like the free throw props. We had like 4.5 on Kyrie. KD was pretty low as well. We know Jaren Jackson Jr., one of the highest fouls for 36 in the league. And the Memphis Grizzlies play tough for defense that these high usage guys can draw some shooting fouls. But where are you landing here on terms of how this game plays out and what we should kind of get exposure to?
Also, keynote, like Desmond Bane, when he plays big minutes, he gets in foul trouble too. So something to take note on. I don't know. I mean, something. This is fire and ice. Something's got to give in this matchup. Either the Nets and Kyrie stays on this hot streak coming off of that hot game. There's some recency bias there, and you have the birthday narrative boosting that up. But then you have Memphis on this crazy defensive tear with Morant out. They can't. I mean, they can't sustain that forever, obviously. So that wall's gonna break at some point, and it would make sense against a very efficient offense in the Nets. But I don't know, or maybe it's just a mediocre game that just washes out and it's all average stat lines. I can't get a read yet. I just watching this Memphis team without Morant, it makes me scared to play guys against them. But it's Kyrie and KD, so I get it. I'm gonna say for props, I would probably lean to Kyrie's free throw. Because like you said, I think that was a good call out by you. He will be more aggressive, especially if Seth Curry's out, and he's gonna drive it. Guys like Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, Jaren Jackson, they can all rack up fouls. And then KD, I mean, does he change his way, or does he just continue this trend where he sits back and lets Kyrie do his thing? Or does he try to get more involved with Kyrie now? The last 3 games would suggest that he's content chilling, letting Kyrie.
I mean, I think it's if you ever play basketball, me and you, we get down on the hoops, right? You know what I'm saying? No, we don't. If a guy's hot, he's hot, right? You feed him, right? And if you're up, like when you're smoking the 76ers or whatever, you let it happen. So yeah, if Kyrie comes out and he can't miss like he has been, certainly is a spot for him to keep airing to the side of Uncle Drew coming out here and hanging 40-50. But if he's not hitting, he's gonna pick up on that, and he's gonna have to start picking up some slack here. But yeah, I do think there's a couple scenarios here. I do think maybe the total is a little overset here at 237. All right, I'd probably.
I agree. I guess why is the field so heavy on Kyrie today? Is it just recency because he's coming off that huge Magic game and it's his birthday?
So I mean I don't know how many people are actually respecting the Grizzlies defense without Ja. It's easy to look at the defensive rating. It's easy to look at DVP and be like, oh, this is a great spot for Kyrie. Put birthday narrative, put a bunch of high big games. So like I think the casual fan could certainly and I'm not saying Kyrie can't pop for a big game here, but the casual fan could lack context to what's actually happening.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like if you look at the DVP and you look at the box score with as a whole season sample size with Morant playing, but yeah, point guards are going to look really favorable, right? They've had monster games against Morant. So I get it. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah. Josh, you just look like you are doing so much work. I don't know how you don't burn yourself out. You're reading, you're writing, you got a whiteboard of plays you're tracking, you got a pencil. Right. I think I've owned a pencil. Actually, I own a pencil for painting when you're like a beautiful mind. It's incredible.
Want to finish strong this season, man.
Yeah, I feel it.
And this slate, yeah, we worked hard on this slate. There's a lot of moving pieces.
I need to mold your mind to base. I know baseball. You've been following for baseball and the bomb detector.
I'm down to give us some baseball. Yeah.
All right. You. I'm getting you the De Niro right now. Josh, Dom Davis. What up, Dom? Says I like it a lot. Your power. He said I want a power for Payne assist. Wiggins rebound. That one's uncomfortable. Ball threes and Lyles fantasy points. I think Lyles fantasy points is going to be one of my highest known. Wayne's World party time says, "Going, you got a mean step back." Nah. I camp under the rim.
That Euro step.
I camp under the rim. I count to 3. Make sure no 3 in the key. 1 step out, 1 step back in. I'll get you a rebound. I play half court defense, baby. It's a little power play on the other side. My big self ain't run up and down these courts. What up, Aaron Campbell says, I got a huge prediction gun. Powell outscores Trey Lyles. I'll be honest, I probably get to a lot of both tonight. Powell's somebody. We'll talk again later about Powell, but yeah, we know I like some Powell against the Rockets. Adam Palmer says DeRozan last night, 1 3-pointer was in everything. Yeah, 3-point shooters against the Bucks, and they still got smoked. But yeah, you paint with a paintbrush, not a pencil. Well, I'll carve it, like I don't know, on my canvas. And then I'll paint it because I'm not coordinated like that. All right, so on the Grizzlies side, though, no Ja Morant does open up the opportunity for Tyus Jones. I think at 4,300, 4,600 on both DK and Fanduel. Way too cheap. Feels a lot like Davion Mitchell, especially on Fanduel. So I'm going to have a lot of overlap between those two as value plays that are getting me a really high floor. I do think there's some volatility between Desmond Bane, Dillon Brooks, who pops off. I do think the minutes have been a little bit more so in the Bane side lately, and that might kind of break the tiebreaker for me today, and I'll get to more Desmond Bane than Dillon Brooks. But at almost 7K, I need 40 plus on this slate from Desmond Bane, so I probably don't get to a ton of either. But sub 5K for Dillon Brooks is intriguing. Jaren Jackson Jr., there's a fun name because he's pretty cheap, sub 7K on both sites. I could see him getting to 40 fantasy points, but he's a block-centric guy. The Brooklyn Nets don't necessarily surrender a ton of blocks. And then high usage guy like KD, right? If he sticks KD, Jaren Jackson Jr. being one of the highest fouls per 36 guys in the league, certainly feels like a spot where nobody is surprised if he's converting those blocks attempts become fouls. The Nets, for what it's worth, allow they allow an above league average in terms of blocks per games allowed, but it's only about 5. So once you get between 4 and 5, that's like everyone. So it's not like a massive split here. So I'm kind of lukewarm on what to do with Jaren Jackson Jr. And then Steven Adams, I'm getting a near 30 fantasy point projection on him. But on this slate, I need true ceiling outcome for a lot of these 5K guys, 6K guys, and I don't know if I'm getting that. So I think Tyus Jones walks away from this game as my highest piece of exposure. But do you have any leans on Bane and Brooks, or you just kind of like, get some exposure appropriately and then move on? Because I just think generally I'm lower on this game than at least the total is. 237 total, it just seems like when does that happen? Or has it happened? And then I guess, maybe I'm underselling Kyrie and KD too much.
Yeah, so looking back at the last rotation for the Grizzlies, it looks like, so it was a blowout against the Rockets. They pulled them halfway through the fourth. The trend that they were going towards, Tyus would have played his usual 34 minutes with Morant out. If it's a close game. Right now, you have him projected for 30, so maybe consider boosting that a little bit because he tends to play when it's close, around 34. That would boost his fantasy point prop. And Bane was on track to play about 35 minutes to 36 in that game. And then, he's definitely probably racking up the most minutes of anybody with Morant out. And then Dillon Brooks looks like he would be around 30 minutes. So if I had to choose one, I would go Bane, and then maybe some exposure to Tyus because he has that steal upside. He's not going to rack up many real points, but he will get assists and potential stocks. And especially if he plays, his normal 34 minutes in this competitive game. I like it. Other than that, that's probably it. I would probably just focus on Tyus and Bane for their fantasy point potential.
All right, so we'll go from a 237 total to a 238 total. Phoenix Suns at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Suns projects 35. Cameron Payne, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton taking on Patrick Beverley, D'Angelo Russell crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jared Vanderbilt, and Karl Anthony Towns. The Big Cat, Ernie Ladd at 238.5 total from the Department of Redundancy Department. Phoenix getting a little edge here. This game feels like you're getting two very talented teams on the previous show that we did before this show. That's how previous works. You were pretty hyped about this game from a real life standpoint. You get two of the best coaches going at it. A little bit of a chess match here. Yeah, you get not a full strength Suns team. However, Cameron Payne has been a pretty serviceable replacement here. Then you get Devin Booker and guys like DeAndre Ayton in the mix here against a T-Wolves defense that has been really strong while also sustaining an incredible offense and the fastest pace in basketball. So it makes sense to like this game, and I think 9+K Devin Booker has 50+ fantasy point potential. But at the same time, you follow up what Beverly was able to do against Luka Doncic, getting his head a little bit. You wonder if that's in Booker's future tonight. But we've also seen Devin Booker, thrive in spots against elite defenders and just kind of not matter. So, and you mentioned the coaching being so strong here. Monty Williams can scheme some stuff here to get Devin Booker a little bit more open shots here. So this is a lot of implied points to go around here. Past Devin Booker, what do you like from the Suns? Cameron Payne under 7K on both sites. I think we're both privy to his assist prop. I'm on the fence about jamming too much of this game because I'm getting some okay projections at proper pricing. But this certainly feels like a spot I need to do my due diligence. Officially, Cat has a Q tag on him, but it looks like he should play. 2 full straight teams here. Suns, Chris Paul could be a playoff preview in the Western Conference. What's standing out to you?
Yeah, this game could be really good. It's a 1-point spread. Yeah, like you said, really, really good coaching in this matchup. Like I said in the other show, Chris Finch, I think he should be Coach of the Year, taking the 23-win T-Wolves team last season to now potentially winning 50 games. So that's just nuts. And, so he's really pushing the pace, and that's his focus, and also being aggressive on defense, and I think that's why their defense is ramped up. And having Pat Bev out there to bark at people and get them motivated, that always helps for the perimeter defense. It's definitely helped D'Lo's defense get better throughout the season. With all the value today, so we talked about a lot of value, but we haven't talked about that many top price guys that we're really leaning on. Besides Trey Young and DeJounte, that we'll get to. Cat's at the same price tag pretty much, that 10K. If we think this game is going to live up to the hype and what Vegas thinks it's going to end with, at a 1-point spread and a 238, that has potential overtime written on it. If it shoots out like it could in this fast-paced matchup that the T-Wolves are running, Cat, it could definitely consider that. And that's probably it for the T-Wolves side. And the Suns, for fantasy-wise, I always like Booker, and then Ayton can be considered in this matchup too if he can stay out of foul trouble against Cat. And campaign, the minutes, are going to be, pretty much what it's going to be capped between 25 to 30. So for fantasy, it make me hesitant, but I really like his assist potential in this fast-paced matchup.
Yeah, I agree. Chat, what do you guys got on this one? Fantasy cards were significantly slower for me. I know they made some adjustments last night, but I haven't tried to crunch anything. But they'll more than likely fix it. Doug says Gunn and Matt. Who do you have projected for more fantasy points, SGA or Booker? So I don't know who Matt is, but I have Booker at just on the south side of 50 fantasy points on both DK and Fanduel, and then looking ahead at SGA, I have SGA at over 50, so SGA is the answer to that question.
He's still questionable, right?
Yeah, I think he was questionable last game, right? And then he played,
he sat one of the games that he was questionable.
Mario Saucedo says Kyrie Irving 25+ points, Brooklyn to win +62. 14-2 are the Memphis Grizzlies without John Morant. Just throwing it out there.
Hey, SGA sat the last time they played the Magic, which is 3 days ago.
He's ducking. Raj is probably out being a cool guy right now. That's why he couldn't make the show. That's what he said. I was like, Raj, you want to show today? He's like, nah, I got cool things to do. No, Raj has a job. I think he's a financial investor or something weird like that. So, shout out to the people taking investment advice from Raj. You got to put all of it into LeBron NFTs, bro. He's the GOAT. A fan once said, "Lock him down." It was to Booker. Forget who it was against, but Booker cooked them all game and said, "No one can hold me. Pat Bev can't hold him." I agree. No, I agree. Booker certainly. I remember years back when Kawhi was Kawhi. I watched Devin Booker dropped a smooth like 30 on him. So I don't mind Devin Booker at all. I wouldn't overrate the defensive matchup, but teams that start to become a tough team defense, like the Celtics, right? I'm not worried about shadow defense or 1v1s and ISO, you know what I mean? But teams that are starting to become notorious for being a strong team defense, that's when you start worrying. And the T-Wolves have become a team that projects solid defensively. And we talked about it in the last game, and there's still room for regression because 4 of those games, like you said, was Blazers and Thunder, right? Yeah, so we thought that might some inflated, but then they smoked Luka, and then that is a slow paced team. So there's still games, and what better test than a top team in the league, Phoenix Suns. Yeah. So this will be a true testament to how solid they are defensively because they don't really have excuses. I know McDaniels is out, but they got Vanderbilt, they got Prince, they got Beverly. Those are the guys I'm leaning on to bolster that defense.
Yeah, I mean they're second in the league in deflections and getting their hands on the ball, behind the Grizzlies this season. So,
chat's telling me I should look at news. Julius Randle rolled out. Mitchell Robinson just got rolled out for the Knicks. Is it a Taj Gibson night? So man, dude.
Or Sims. I mean, Sims could probably.
Yeah, Jericho Sims, Obi Toppin. Yikes.
Oh.
Yikes. Well, I'm glad I didn't. It probably saves me from Mitchell Robinson more than anything, but
yeah,
it's a game that could play a little bit smaller. So yeah, Taj Gibson's probably gonna get dumb minutes for no reason. Let's update Mitchell Robinson out.
How many minutes did he play last night?
Mitch Rob?
No, Taj.
Remember he closed over Evan Fournier.
They're gonna put Fournier at the 5.
Bruh. Ultimately, he got 20 minutes last night.
Okay.
I'm not playing. Yeah, that's not happening. Jericho Sims and Obi Toppin. But now Obi Toppin is going to project probably as like high owned again, like he did yesterday. So now we'll see if that actually means anything. But Jericho Sims and Obi Toppin. Oh my God! And you know what? It's Taj. God dang it! I can't. It's 2022. Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm not doing it. Nope. Big slate, man. New slates. Jeremy Savage says Luka sucks versus the Wolves. Booker doesn't. Yeah, I wouldn't overthink it. It's something that we're watching from a real standpoint. Booker's usage is going to be high enough that if this game lives up to this total, Booker's going to have a shot at 30 real points, right?
Yeah.
Sims. Chat's excited to play Jericho Sims. I don't hate it. I have to do a little bit more diving into that one.
Is he mid price?
I mean, he's got to be. Like what? He has to be.
I don't know if they bumped it after yesterday.
No, they don't. They don't operate logistically. Jericho Sims is 3,200 on DK. Forward center eligible. He got 13 minutes last night. Didn't do much with him. Same with like M-Rob and Obi Toppin. But minutes against minutes against the Charlotte Hornets. They mean more. Yeah. So, RJ Barrett rebound prop. You thinking? Chat. Okay. All right.
He was aggressive on the glass last night. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Thunder hosting the Magic. Project starting 5 for the Magic. Cole Anthony, R.J. Hampton, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba. He's got hoes calling. SGA, Trey Mann, Aaron Wiggins, Darius Baisley, Isaiah Roby on the other side. 221.5 total. 1.5 point sprint for the visiting Orlando Magic. So lots of news to watch here. By the way, this is why I get these deals to do videos for NBA stuff. And it's just so hard to do anything because news is so it just changes. So I struggle because I'm not one of those guys that likes to put out a 5-pick video at early when it literally doesn't matter. But I also have to satisfy, and then this slate is so much different in this hour than it was 6 hours ago. So chat, if you ever wonder why I don't know. Just a thought. What am I looking at for? I'm looking for Orlando Magic news. So we need Wendell Carter news. Would definitely bolster our expectations for the Orlando Magic. Expecting Suggs to be down, Markelle Fultz to be down, which is not insignificant, and then Wendell Carter Jr. is being considered questionable with a left wrist and ankle sprain. He's got the double whammy. And then if he can't go, Chuma Okeke, who already isn't unplayable, gets an opportunity. And yesterday we were in chat, and then Admiral Schofield checked in like the first quarter, and we're like, oh, that's a thing.
That's the Magic, man. This rotation, oh man, it's bad. It's bad.
And then on the OKC side, SGA questionable. He's got right ankle soreness. He missed one game with an ankle issue. Then he returned on Monday and dropped 31 real points. So if he can go, expect him to have just incredible usage. I have him for over 50 fantasy points, sub 10K on this slate where value is just exploding left and right every time we turn around. You're just running with studs here. SGA is just one of those guys that could absolutely be a slate breaker. We've seen that happen. And then on the Magic side, if we lose Wendell Carter Jr., it could be Okeke, it could be Mo Wagner, right? It could be a different look lineup. Admiral Schofield apparently exists. So I guess what I want to lead us down to, first of all, is Cole Anthony. We were on his assist yesterday, and he had 4. The assist line was 5 to 5.5, depending on where you took it. He had 4 in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And then all he got was 1 more in the second half.
He just didn't get his normal run. This is what I was worried about with the Magic. Their rotation. There's so many guys just playing diluted minutes now. It's just like, I don't know if it's just because they're tanking and they just want to get more guys run and less run for the main guys. I mean, they're playing all like 25 to 30 minutes.
So I will say, if you look at it yesterday, it looked like they had 2 basketball teams. No, I'm serious. Like, you open it up, like the first unit, second unit, bro. It was like a straight up swap the A team and B team out. And
hockey line.
Yeah, no, exactly. So sub out, and the second unit was literally a unit that played together. Now today's gonna be a little bit different, but Gary Harris, Fultz, Wagner, Okeke, and Schofield was the second unit, and then the first unit was the starters. Now this gets a little bit different today because there's gonna be no Fultz, and Wendell Carter could be iffy, and maybe it becomes more like a normal basketball team where it looks more like a data mining piece of software than defragging than this. This is like the cleanest. This looks like the laziest coach job I've ever seen. Yeah. It's like, all right, you 5 go, you 5 go. It's like little league coaching at this point.
Yeah, that's a fair comparison.
Anyway,
I'm not that, man. I'm not. It's just it's too volatile.
I think you have. I mean, for prop betting, sure. I think in DFS, you're almost going to have to. Like, if we lose Wendell Carter, and we know Fultz is down, we know Jalen Suggs is out, we could get 35-plus minutes of Cole Anthony, which is pretty cheap. Under 6K on Fanduel. And then I'd be willing, Josh, to go back to the assist prop.
But we've seen this before, recently. Detroit, in the Detroit game, Wendell and Okeke, they were out. I guess Fultz did play that game, but Cole only finished, 12 real points, 30 fantasy points.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, someone's got to hit the shots for him, so sure. But, all right, if we don't force the issue on props, that's cool. But under 6K on FanDuel, I'm going to have to get to Cole Anthony here. I'm just going to have to. And same with Mo Bamba if we lose Wendell Carter. And, it's not a warm and fuzzy click here, but 4,500. He's showing upside at that price point, 30-plus fantasy points there. Chuma Okeke is going to profile well. If we lose Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Wagner, Franz Wagner, all going to seem like clickable names here. So, unfortunately for DFS, I'll get there. Prop betting, we don't have to force this big enough slate. How about the OKC side, though? SGA, let's. I mean, you know what happens when we assume. But, I mean, if you play your most recent game, right? Like, you logged 37 minutes against a tough Celtics team. And that's, you talk about a game where it's not, you're never live to win. And it's a team that benefits more from losing than winning. But 2 days ago, he played 37 minutes. I feel like I would, if I had to guess in or out, I'm guessing in because he just played the last game. SGA at a sub 10K. What don't we like from SGA, right? He's going to have a 30+% usage, team leader in minutes. Lot to attack here. I'm getting a 50+ fantasy point projection on both sites. I'll take that with the value that's emerging, and go from there. And you could positively correlate with a couple of these Magic stuff. And I know if you lose Wendell Carter, this Magic team offensive efficiency is dog water, right? No Suggs, no Carter, but it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, so I'm not gonna overthink it. I don't know. There's a lot of madness here, but for DFS, the prices are just too low for the opportunity, and that's the unfortunate side effect of playing DFS is that you have to play some of these ugly names that you don't have to on PrizePicks.com using code Gundecker. What are you thinking here? SGA, anything?
Yeah, I like it. I'm just curious. I'm curious to see what the ownership is going to be like if he's ruled in early on, because I mean he's sitting right around Trey Young's price tag. And then not too far from DeJounte and Kyrie. I assume Kyrie is going to be pretty popular mixed in with DeJounte. And then the next tier would be in ownership would probably be Trey and then SGA and then Booker.
I don't want to lie.
It's not lying. It's just trying to predict.
Yeah. I definitely think Kyrie sounds over-owned because I'm seeing him. Usually you just look at thumbnails and be like, okay, this guy. But yeah, I would assume that a lot of what maybe was going to happen did shake up quite a bit. But also, this late into a season, the field is as sharp as it's ever going to be because only the last of the Mohicans are grinding right now. So I'll give the field some credit here.
I guess with all this value, you could play an SGA and pair him with either a Trey Young or a DeJounte lineup. Mm-hmm. But head between all these guys, who do you think finishes more points? At SGA if he plays 36 minutes against Orlando, or Trey Young against Detroit?
If we lose Brogdon, I'm gonna say Trey Young. That's close. If we lose Brogdon, I'm gonna say Trey Young. And the reason I'm saying that is because the Hawks are playing to win, right? They're trying to get to the postseason. Yeah. The Thunder or SGA's playing to win, but you know what I mean. So I got Trey Young right now, but SGA, I think SGA is right up there in the conversation for being a top 5 scorer on the slate, and there's enough value that. We're not trying to fit together a Jokic and a Giannis, right? This isn't two 12K guys. We can get to both of them. So if you think they could both be top 2 on the slate, go for it. Let's make up some time here. Houston Rockets at Mavericks. You like the full-on Mavericks stack. No Luka Doncic for the Mavericks. Dwight Powell certainly in play here. Last game, Marquise Chris didn't log a single minute. He played a lot of the fourth quarter in the game prior to that against the Hornets. Hornets a similar pace team. Now the Mavericks are big time favorites here, 10-point spread. So I'm still like the thought of Dwight Powell in a fast-paced matchup. I'm still gonna have some exposure to him, but we're getting a lot of value in the front court tonight. But I do think a lot of you guys seen what Powell can do in these faster-paced matchups. You saw what he did against the T-Wolves. You saw what he did against the Rockets last time. So yes, give me some Powell. Spencer Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson, both guys should probably be top 2 in points scored, at least fantasy points scored. Both guys are getting dueling 40 fantasy point projections in my early onset. After I typed in minute projections. So against the Houston Rockets, I'm loading up on those two. The Rockets are pretty hard to feel great about pre-flop, especially when they're full strength, when Eric Gordon is expected to play, and then the bench involving Dennis Schroeder, Şengün, Kenyon Martin. There's a lot of mouths to feed. Silas is just given a lot of minutes, and as much as I want to write off the Rockets and be done with it, I'd be doing a disservice to not at least mention that Christian Wood is coming off of 2 really great games in his last 3 outings, 63 fantasy points and 70 against Indiana and Washington, with Memphis being the outlier. We talked about Memphis's defense. So I don't think it's that crazy to expect an okay game out of Christian Wood, but I think me and you and a lot of people in chat are pretty unsettled with Christian Wood's stability, both mentally and from a standard deviation and range of outcomes standpoint. So if I get to know Rockets, I don't hate myself. I think the Rockets for me feel a little bit more clickable when there's no Eric Gordon or no Dennis Schroeder or somebody like that. But I guess from a points per dollar standpoint, I'm not getting a terrible projection on KPJ And if you wanted some Christian Wood, I'm getting about 40 fantasy point projection, which I could live without at this price point today with some of the other value today. So that's what I got here. Josh, we talked pretty in depth on this one, but you agree Dinwiddie, Brunson to the moon, and sprinkle some others and move on?
I do agree. Sorry, one thing before I forget, and I'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
They just dropped Clint Capela on the double-double list, and they have him at 11 rebounds and 10.5 points.
Okay, that's an incredible point, chat. I point this out. I've noticed it a couple times over the weekend with Vucevic, with DeAndre Ayton. Double-doubles is pretty much one of the dumber things you can bet on PrizePicks since you don't get a bonus. However, sometimes guys slip through on PrizePicks that are listed as a double-double that shouldn't be. So basically, if PrizePicks is giving you a projection of double-digit points and rebounds, which they are here with Clint Capela, they're saying 10.5 points, 11 rebounds. Well, you'd be kind of dumb to take either one of those over the double-double, right? If you agree with both of those projections. So you can use their projections against them. I would say it's not crazy if Clint Capela didn't get 10. But if you thought that, we saw this with DeAndre Ayton and Vucevic, those are probably a little bit safer options because they are 10, 15 shot attempts and something like that. But this is one of my favorite edges on PrizePicks right now is when guys bleed through with a double-double prop. They probably shouldn't be there because they're implied for a double-double. So if you want to take advantage of that, go do so. Remember to use code GUNDECKER when you sign up. Good call out, Josh. Good call out.
Thanks. Yeah. So back to the Mavs. Yeah, I this is a straightforward play with Brunson and Dinwiddie. The only thing that can hold them back from not reaching value, obviously, is this blowout, and we've had that risk with the Rockets all season long, and it's really hard to predict with them because these are young guys on the Rockets that their motivation is so up and down across all of them. So you just don't know what kind of Rocket team you're going to get. We've seen them hang in games that they shouldn't have been in, and we've seen them just get destroyed and give up by halftime. So yeah, you're gonna have to make a stand. And I think if you do game stack the Mavs, I mean you might want to consider running it back with guys like Kevin Porter or Christian Wood or Jalen Green. Although I mean the Mavs defense is still good with Luka out and especially the perimeter defense. So if you had to choose one, it'd probably be Wood, because Powell can be exploitable. But yeah, like we said, Wood is the ultimate GPP play that's out there, with the massive ceiling and the lowest floor. So yeah, I'm gonna key in on Spencer Dinwiddie if I had to pick one Mav I like the most. He's been the most productive offensively as of late for the Mavs, and a real bright spot for him. I think you can make an argument that he's probably one of the better mid-season trade value that we had this season.
Yeah, and everyone laughed at it when it happened, right?
Yeah,
me included. I was like, "What? That was dumb."
Yeah, we all did. We thought he was done, but he started. I think really was not himself after that injury, and he's dusting, getting the rust off and getting back to form, and he's definitely made probably the largest impact to the team that he was traded to, a team that's actually trying to make a run in the playoffs. So yeah, I like Dinwiddie a lot, because he's a much better defender than Brunson is, so the stock potential is there against a very turnover happy Rockets team. And then Powell, the only concern would be like you said, with Chris getting run, and then just also not having that pick and roll with Luka and Powell really work together on that, and he gets a lot of real points from those pick and rolls, and even just like the ghost pick and roll where you fake it, you fake like you're gonna pick, and then Powell would cut to the basket. So I think Brunson has the ability to do that. He does that.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I was gonna say, I noticed in chat too. It's a good point that Luka's out not to feed Powell, but Dinwiddie can be a traditional point guard. He has like a 30% assist rate in this split, and Brunson has like a 25% assist rate. So I don't want to give up on Powell completely because the Rockets bleed so many points in the paint to opposing bigs. So it's a logistical thought, though. But he also, I mean, Powell can get you, implied for a stock per game, and the Rockets give up the most blocks and steals per game combined. So I wouldn't be that pessimistic. The concern, like you said, is his minutes. The other night against the Hornets, Chris got some run in the first quarter, and then only really came in for garbage time. And then in the last game, Chris wasn't even part of the rotation. So really not sure what Dallas is doing with Chris's minutes, which inherently impacts Dwight Powell's minutes, and also they got Maxi Kleber in the mix and so on and so forth. But the matchup being the matchup 4,300, I'll have some shares, but certainly potential regression based on no Luka.
What's your read on this game? What's your blowout risk meter? Is it red, all the way red, or is it in the middle?
I mean, Houston's weird, right?
10-point spread right now.
It is, and without Luka, it feels kind of generous, but Vegas is Vegas, and I'm Gundacker, and 10.5 in some spots, so certainly feels like it's live to blow out. It opened up at 14. I guess once Luka being out was more definitive, it dropped to 10.5, 10. So I think the Rockets can stay around long enough, strong enough to keep 4 quarters in there. But I wouldn't be stunned if the Rockets came out flat in the battle of I-45. By the way, we got 2 games left on the docket. Philadelphia 76ers line has moved to 9.5. So that might get to 10 when it's all said and done. And then we also have the Spurs at -9. So last couple games on this slate could become sticky, and we have seen blowouts really impact a lot of research. You know what I mean? So hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. But what will happen is immediately following this stream, me and you and me, especially me, but no, not especially me. Definitely me, because you are a family man. You might have to step away. I'll be in the Run DFS. What did I just? Why? I'll be in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord. If you guys want to join me, go to RunDFS.com. Click VIP memberships. Find something that's right for you. And get locked in until the end of baseball, and that'll get you coverage to everything by grabbing yourself a membership. And then when you do that, click VIP portal. There'll be a link to the spreadsheet that you guys can use. It's the literal same spreadsheet that I'm using right now, and then of course a link to the Discord. And right on here, we'll all be in this NBA chat. React to the news as it comes. Knowing this slate, there's going to be more landmines and more nukes, and you guys can join the fun. I'll be carving out my player pool, tightening up the projections as we get closer to lock, and then the prop detector, which is Josh keeping tabs on all these props that not just me and him like, but members of the community, you guys were on. We keep it all together in a prop detector, so you guys that are putting out those PrizePicks cards tonight can kind of cross-reference your picks with ours, and maybe tail and mix and match and go from there. So get into the VIP at RunDFS.com, and if you don't want to do that, at least get into the free Discord below. And if you want a cheaper way to access the prop detector twice a week, there's a join button below. That's like $5. You link your Discord account with your YouTube account, and we'll drop a prop detector twice a week. Today will be one of them. You'd have to do that fast though, because I think Discord only does it like once an hour. But if you did it and you can't see it, just DM me on Discord and we'll get to figure it out. But yeah, we do have members only chat in the free Discord. All right, Sixers at the Lakers. I haven't adjusted this since LeBron James was rolled out in terms of projections. Looks like Jax has come through and fixed the projected starting lineup. But it's a 229. I don't have a total. I have a 9.5 point spread. Maybe one of you guys can help me out on total. Either way, it's a TV game. You got the one of the candidates for MVP and Joel Embiid. You got James Harden. Both these guys coming off a rest game against the Heat, where the Sixers were able to steal a dub. And the Lakers are going to feature Russell Westbrook on primetime television without LeBron James, which is going to probably also bolster responsibility for guys like Malik Monk, Austin Reeves, Carmelo Anthony, in a game that is certainly an uphill battle at best for the Lakers. Westbrook coming in around 82 on FanDuel, so at least he's not 6K and 88 on DK, going against his former friend and twice removed teammate James Harden. Since LeBron got ruled out, Josh, what are we thinking on this game? We expecting the Sixers to kind of run away with it, and do we expect them to be respectful and not let Embiid have another stat pad game, in his case, to be the league MVP. On national TV at that.
Yeah. I mean, Embiid's like, 11K. You might not get full run. Might not even touch the court in the fourth quarter. I think this would be a stay away from me. I just, without LeBron, I just don't see how the Lakers just keep it close. I mean, till the third quarter. Westbrook, he's going to try his hardest out there, and he has been playing better lately, so are you going to get some exposure to your boy Westbrook?
God,
and how much?
All right, so I will preface this by saying I wouldn't feel comfortable recommending it, but the answer for me is yes. But Brody's my boy, and that's just who you rock with. Who you rock with? I rock with Russell Westbrook. But from a statistical standpoint, past the last 3 games, he certainly has not been super efficient. So it's very reasonable to suspect that 40 fantasy points might be the average expectation here. But yes, I will be getting to Westbrook from a fantasy standpoint, but that might be more biased than not. But the projections is probably going to agree with me. But when has it not? And this is something we've seen all year long. So I certainly would be cautious with that. I don't know that I don't see Embiid coming. Well, first of all, Sixers on the road, right? They're known to play down in spots where they shouldn't. So maybe we don't completely count out the Lakers. This is a little TV game, so if you believe that Joel Embiid cares about this MVP race, he probably does. If he has an opportunity to have one of those 40-point games with incredible stat lines, I Doc just might level. You know what I'm saying? Embiid, stay out there, get 50, dunk on Dwight. So I think I don't know. I'm gonna have some Embiid here, but I certainly would have had more Embiid and more Harden 2 hours ago when I thought LeBron James was playing. So cheap answer. Yeah.
Embiid could take like 15 free throw or make 15 free throws today against guys like Gabriel.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug says, I like Westbrook, but I wouldn't lock him in. I agree, 100% agree. 76ers could be up by 30 at halftime. Also agree with that. Solid pick says Embiid. I'm going to use this game as an MVP vote pushing game. I can see that. Thug and D. How you like Harden for 11 assists tonight? I mean, yes. His assist rate is high, but yes, we're worried about 4 quarters, right? If you get 4 quarters, yeah, he should smoke it. It's the Lakers, right? They've been teams beating up the Lakers all year. But it really comes down to, do we get full on the 76ers schedule? Do they play tomorrow by chance? Tomorrow's schedule? No, they don't play till Friday, and they play the Clippers, so they don't have any travel either. They're just staying in LA for 2 days. So shout out to all the strippers in LA about to get paid for 2 days.
I bet you're gonna watch Blazers games with the stripper.
Tell me Brandon Williams has a wet 3. Tell me. What is happening? Okay. Yeah, so I that's my pessimism. Yeah. All right, we got 1 game left for this chaos stream. Main event tonight: San Antonio Spurs and the Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trailblazers are a 9.5-point dog, 231 total. Spurs project starting 5: DeJounte Murray, Josh Primo, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? Taking on Brandon Williams, C.J. Ellaby, Justice Winslow, Trendon Watford, and Drew Eubanks. So this is another game where we wrestle with blowouts. DeJounte Murray absolutely could be the slate leader in fantasy points accrued. It's the Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trail Blazers. Say that 5 times fast. Has the worst defensive rating in all of basketball, and there's no Lonnie Walker. There's no Dougie McBuckets. Bates Diop is questionable. So DeJounte Murray was already a guy that I think could be top 2 in minutes played for this team. Just has that much more potential floor in minutes played here. So DeJounte could drop 70, but much like Harden, much like Embiid, worried about 4 quarters. What's your read here? Blazers, by the way, no Josh Hart. And, of course, Bledsoe, Nurkic, Simons, all those guys out. This Blazers team, we're starting to get more sample size, at least, on who these guys are. Right? Wofford and Eubanks and Brandon Williams have shown some leaks for fantasy that we can pick on. And the Spurs, fast-paced, porous defense. So there's at least a canvas where we can paint some hope. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, the Blazers, they keep surprising us and keeping games close. I think, Winslow, if Winslow wasn't playing, and Hart was out too, I would be more hesitant. But Winslow, I mean, he's playing hard out there. He's trying. He's helping keeping the unit together. And Wofford's playing pretty well for being the type of guy he is in this role. And, you got Eubanks' revenge game. And, Biggs against the Spurs has been fruitful this season. I'm hoping it stays close. I really do, because I want to play DeJounte. And even Keldon Johnson's in play. But I think, if there wasn't so much value today, you get on guys like Jay Rich. He's 4,700 on both sides. But with all the value, I don't see why we need to get to him. But I mean, he's been productive with those guys out, and this is a good matchup for him. DeJounte should rack up the stocks today. Mm-hmm. The Blazers do turn it over a lot, and they foul a lot. They do pretty much everything you don't want as a coach. But hopefully they don't do it too much today, and keep this game somewhat competitive. I mean, the Spurs, they're an up and down team.
Yeah. And
it's really hard to predict what kind of productivity and outcome you're going to get from them. So I'm debating. I'm trying to decide, like, what has the most likely outcome? Is it the blowout in the Rockets Mavs game, or the Spurs Blazers, or even both, I guess?
The Mavs? Probably the Mavs.
Okay.
Mavs at home. It's the Rockets. I don't know.
All right.
Spurs.
Well, if that's the case, then yeah, I would be more inclined to go with the Spurs guys, especially DeJounte.
All right. Well, we've made it twice through looking at this slate. Me and you. I'm not a rapper. So we got to get into the Discord, but we'll keep it going, and then hopefully by time of lock, we will get 5 more guys rolled out. We'll keep it going. So Josh, you're gonna be gone tomorrow for the stream. Are you doing a first look in the morning or not?
Yes.
All right.
It's only 5 games. That'll be much easier than last night, man. This sleep.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. So look out for Josh's first look video in the morning, and then I'll be back in the afternoon with a pair of streams: the PrizePicks stream and the DFS main slate stream. And we'll keep it going, man. The grind continues. 7K subs is going to happen. We're at 6,830, so 170 away. Make sure you guys are sub. If you're not, hit that thumbs up on your way out, man. As always, man, I appreciate you making part of my day be part of your day. And I hope you crush it tonight. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.